Post-training, episode 66 of the Weightlifting Scoop. I got James Tatum, Sean Rigsby, and Becca Gerdon. I almost forgot your last name, Becca.
I pronounced it wrong last night.
Nothing to say. So how do you pronounce your last name?
Gerdon.
I pronounced it wrong last night. I got a lashing.
Well, no, Sean has the most amazing.
Yeah, Sean said it wrong last night.
Sean
and I
has
almost beat his ass.
the most amazing nickname for Becca. So I always think Becky G now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Becky.
Right,
Becky
right.
G, Queen
Well,
City's
'cause
finest.
I started calling him Shawnee Riggs, so then he called me Becky G.
So
duel.
is Charlotte
What'd he do?
is the Queen City?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, because I always just call it the Clit.
CLT. CLT. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I do. When my friends come here, I'm like, "Hey, are you flying to the Clit?" You know, I don't
Fly from the clit to the lax.
It's funny to me. Maybe it's funny to
I've
other
never
people.
heard that.
Hopefully, it's
about
not
Charlotte.
offensive. But, anyways,
Could be.
episode 66. Is that the devil's number?
I think we're one
1-6
short.
short.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
in 600 episodes we'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully we get there.
I think
was
in the
kinda
movie
worried.
Cars, there's a Highway 66.
Well, Route 6. Yeah,
Yeah,
Route
Route
66.
Yeah, Route 66.
Jeez, James, you are way out of the
It's a
loop.
good movie. It's a good one.
That's like an old thing too. Route 66. Usually James, like, you know, things that are the latest and greatest, the new. He's not really up to date on it, but like old school stuff, James is usually on top of it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for more.
James, did you enjoy
Yeah.
the game? Did you enjoy the game this weekend, James?
What game?
The
Weightlifting is not a game. Junior Nationals.
Junior
is not a
Nationals,
game.
yeah. You know, it was a sport. It was a good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to watch. The Seattle Supersonics won. As you know, I know you're a big fan.
Oh, you guys were talking about football.
Yeah.
There was some type of big game going on.
Yep.
No, there was the Super Bowl. James was sleeping through the Super Bowl. He did not show up at the Super Bowl party that Tom put on.
Nope.
Nope.
He doesn't like games. He says, "Why would you watch other people play games?"
Yeah. When you could play them yourself.
Yeah. We should have a football game.
Football
Also
game.
driver football.
None of us have any lateral movement capacity at the moment.
Speak for yourself.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe.
well, that would be easy to judge where everyone's going. Nobody goes sideways.
Someone tried moving laterally the other day and it didn't work out so well. So
Well, we can move
Talking about you-
laterally.
talking about you?
We'll just,
no, I'm talking about the injury that occurred.
We'll just
Anyway.
get hurt if we move laterally.
Yeah. Matt rolled his ankle.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's fine.
Lateral movement.
Well, the poor guy missed a snatch behind, and
Yeah,
it started rolling off the platform, and the stereo was behind him, so he tried to like stop the bar so the phone and the stereo didn't bust up, and he rolled his freaking ankle, and the bar still ran into the stereo. So it's just like,
case in point.
Everything was okay, though.
yeah.
Yep.
But
So we
yeah,
probably
he's-
shouldn't play football.
He's actually
let
been,
alone in the gym.
He's been lifting, so he's fine now. But it's gonna take him a few days to be back to 100%. But he's at like 80% already. So
You look pretty good.
yeah, no problem. James, you trimmed your beard. Tell us that story because I think it's freaking hilarious.
All right. So I went out to a seminar this past weekend, and so I'm doing my demonstration. I'm doing the clean and jerk, and I get up to like I think it was 165 that this happened at, and usually 165 is becoming a routine number for me. I can always catch the bounce, and
Cocky son of a gun.
yeah, I just can't handle me in this small room. Well, so I'm whatever.
Go on.
Go on.
So I'm trying this 165 clean and jerk, and I turn my elbows around and I'm about to rack it and then stand up, but my beard gets caught in the like under the rack in my chin, so I get stuck down there at the bottom of the clean, and then I had to like bounce it out to get my beard hair out from underneath the bar because it was pulling on it. Now I still stood up and made the jerk, but that was a turn of events for my beard because it's started betraying me in my lifting, and that's not okay. So I got back.
When beards go bad.
Yeah.
Naughty beard.
Yeah, so I went and I trimmed it, and I trimmed quite a bit off of that beard. I think I probably got like 1.5 inches off, and it's still Still probably a half-inch long right now.
It's still a very respectable beard.
So James looks about 10 kilos lighter.
He probably is 10 kilos lighter.
Everybody was always commenting like, "Oh man, how much is James walking around at, getting all these lifts and stuff?" Thinking I was weighing like 87 kilos or something, but I look like a 77 again. The beard just makes you look bigger. I think it's a big intimidation factor in weightlifting.
Well, I don't know who you're intimidating. I mean, are you intimidating the bar?
Well, apparently not. It's pulling on my beard. It was working for a while, and then it attacked back. So I don't know. It only took one time for me to give in to that one.
So how bad did that hurt?
Well, it wasn't excruciatingly painful where I couldn't make the lift, but it was definitely quite distracting.
Well, what we really wanted to do is I think Stephanie was even in on this. She wanted us to put cornrows in your beard.
Yeah, so based on how it hurt with just the bar catching a little bit of my beard, the yanking and pulling during the process of putting cornrows, I don't think I would have been able to handle it.
Yeah, that's what it would have felt like that for like 3 weeks if you had put cornrows in your beard.
Yeah, no.
How ridiculous would that have looked? That'd have been pretty awesome.
That'd have been intimidating.
But at the end of the day, me and Sean have just about as much facial hair as James does now. But
isn't doing anything for me. So
I don't know. That day when I think it was Saturday when I got my beard pulled. I totaled, 300 or so. And I think that day you totaled 305.
Yeah.
So.
It's one of my rare victories.
You got me there.
Yeah.
Well, today is, I'm going to shave my beard today or tomorrow because I have to get a new passport picture and I don't want to look like a completely different person. I try to look innocent when I travel. I don't want to be searched and all that kind of crap.
Well, I just mentioned this earlier today too, was, there's the movie out called We're the Millers.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty funny.
They've all got these like crazy looking passport photos and stuff because they go down to Mexico, and they look completely different when their ID picture. They're all like, one girl's gothic, the other girl's like got like stripper type picture, and then like the other guy's got like shaggy pothead hair, and then when they're going through the security, they just say, "Oh, pass, go on through," and then they get the one kid that's like super straight cut, smiling, perfect posture, goofy, and they're like, "All right, full body search."
It's those guys you got to look out for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to get searched too much. They can search some places you don't want them to.
Yep, ain't nobody got time for that.
No time for those kind of searches. Anyways, so Junior Nationals, the Super Bowl sucked. Let's just put that out there. Even though James doesn't know what happened. The Super Bowl, that was like the worst game, worst commercials. There was like 2 good commercials.
It was pretty boring.
Yep.
Super Bowl sucked. So we all were at Tom's house and we watched Junior Nationals on Sunday. And right after the Super Bowl, Ian Wilson lifted, and I mean, if you guys haven't seen those lifts, they're incredible. Kid's 20 years old, 105, just moved up, 170, 205. Broke Casey Bergner's records that had stood for 12 years. So,
yeah.
I mean, some really long-standing records. Those aren't just records that were low and have been broken recently. Those are records that stood for a long time. So, congratulations to him. And I mean, I know you guys have some thoughts on that.
I thought that I wanted to jump off a building after I watched him do it, but because of all what you just listed, 20-year-old kid, snatching my clean and jerk, no big deal. It's fine, or just about. But no, it was really awesome to watch him do it. He attacks weights. It's really impressive to watch him, the way he steps up to the bar. I really liked how he didn't settle for. He didn't just want to break them; he wanted to smash them. You know what I mean? Not that Casey Bergner wasn't a great lifter, but he didn't settle for 66 or 201, anything like that. So that was really exciting to watch.
Well, it was kind of interesting because he opened up at 60, made it pretty easily.
Yeah.
Went to 66 to break the record, and actually missed it. he had a great pull on it, and then as he was standing up, it drifted forward a bit. So, then he went to 70, which is that's a ballsy move. Like, who does that? Who's at a record and misses it and then goes up? And I've actually seen him do this before. He tried to do this at Collegiate Nationals last year. And anyways, that's like one of those moves that everyone would have been a backseat driver on the forums if he'd have missed 170. Why is he moving up? I can't believe it. But,
it's one of those, if he misses it, everybody criticizes him, and he makes it like, oh my God, he's amazing, which he is, so.
Yeah, so he ended up making that 170, which is great, and then, what did he do in the clean? He went 195 and then jumped straight to 205.
What I liked while I was watching the stream, and he like turned right over to his dad, his dad is his coach, and he just kind of signs like 2.5, like put it on the bar,
But there was some significance to that jump. So last year at Junior Worlds, the Junior World Champion totaled 374. So going straight to 205 put him at a 375 total. So I don't know, I don't really know Ian or talk to him. Maybe I've talked to him on Facebook once or twice or something, but it's very nice job type thing. But I'm sure going through his mind, he's looking at, hey, last year's Junior World Champ did 374. I went 375 this meet to make a statement, Yeah. So,
only 100 kilo body weight too. I mean, he's still got time to fill out, get stronger.
So Junior Worlds is like, I don't know the exact date. It's 3 or 4 months away, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Is it? Where is it this year?
Does anyone know? None of us are juniors anymore. We don't have any juniors on our team, so I used to be all into like when was junior nationals.
I think it is in Russia in like 4 months. I think it's in Kazan this year where the universities were.
It's coming up. He's got some time to, if he eats right and trains right, gain a little bit of muscle and go after heavier weights. He basically racked 210 as well, so.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Potential for a 380 total is there, and it's exciting to see someone who has a potential to medal in a very competitive weight class at Junior Worlds. There was also a couple other records that were broken that probably got overlooked just because everyone was talking about Ian's performance. But Darren Barnes snatched 107, I believe. Let me double check that as a 56.
Yeah, it was 107.
So, that's a record. He's still a junior, obviously, competing at Junior Nationals. Last year, he bombed out at Junior Worlds, I believe, but medaled in the clean and jerk or something along those lines. Medaled in the snatch, bombed out in the clean and jerk, one or the other. So, point being, he's a threat to medal at the Junior Worlds in a fairly competitive weight class. And Daryl Barnes broke a record. 121 in the snatch.
I think it was junior and senior American record.
It was. Both of those were.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's kind of interesting is because his brother has been trying to break that record, Derek Johnson. So that'll be interesting to see. I don't know if Derek's competing at the Arnold or not, but at Nationals, I hope both of those guys are competing. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about C.J. Cummings, too. So, little 14-year-old kid, 13-year-old kid, something like that.
Yeah. He's, that was fun watching his lifts. I don't remember, I saw a snatch, I think. I don't even remember how much it was.
Like 112.
Yeah.
Did like 112, 136.
Yeah.
So, 13-year-old kid, that's incredible. 2 more years, you'll be seeing,
in playing football,
Daryl, him, and Derek going after it. And that the snatch record, that 121, the last time that was broken is 1998. So, that's...
Wow, what is that, 16 years now?
16 years standing. So that's like, that's another one of those long-standing records that nobody's broken in forever. So
Who did hold the record, Coop? Who was that?
Legrand Szymanski.
Okay.
Something like that. He's from Team Hawaii. Oh, I said that completely wrong. Legrand Sakamaki. Yeah.
Szymanski, Sakamaki.
I don't know.
At least you knew who it was. I didn't, so.
Yeah, well, I had it pulled up on the computer, so I was cheating.
I was trying to give you credit here, Coop, and then you... Anyway.
No, but, these guys are competing at Junior Worlds. I see a bright future for USA weightlifting. I'm excited to see these guys grow up and have an opportunity to medal at Junior Worlds this year. And I think being that Darren has always been lighter, I think that he's gotten a lot more recognition over his brother. But that 121, that's a record that stood for 16 years. And so, that's a huge one. I think he's starting to come around and get the recognition he deserves as well.
Yeah, I remember when I could snatch 120. That was that was big for me, and I was an 85 first time I snatched 120.
It's almost double bodyweight snatch for him then.
Yep,
Yeah.
62. I don't know exactly what he weighed in at the meet, but
basically.
it could literally have been.
Yeah, it might have been if he
He
was
weighed
light.
in at 61.3.
Okay,
So
pretty close.
yeah, very, very close. Yeah.
Hmm.
So if he's weighing 61.3, he may not even really be cutting weight, which is, that's great.
That class could get exciting. Some years you kind of show up and it was just like Derek Johnson, and then I think Sean Hutchinson was there for a little bit.
Yeah,
But
Sean.
it'd be nice to see,
he's hit
more
some big numbers
competition
in the past, and so there's potential to have like some serious showdowns in that weight class, and I look forward to that. It's been a long time since there's been more than like 1 or 2 62s in the weight class at those top weights. And CJ Cummings, I really expect him to be like, as far as I know, his family's pretty big, not big like fat or anything. What I mean by that is like his dad's tall. He's already like pretty lanky for a 62. So I expect him to be a big kid. Move up to 77, 85, 94 type weight classes when it's all said and done. So I don't know if he'll still be in that weight class a year or two from now. But it will be interesting to see his progress from Savannah, Georgia, where a lot of weightlifters kind of came out of.
Team Savannah.
So Sean, you've been working on something in weightlifting, tempo.
Yeah,
Something
we've been working a lot on my pull. Technical work with Don. Don's been a lot of help. Doing a lot of work off blocks, like high blocks, low blocks, et cetera, et cetera. But, at the end of the day, you got to do the lift from the floor. So something I've been trying to do, I always thought coming up, you want to move as fast as you can, but if you're not moving in good positions, that doesn't really matter. So I always thought, just kind of tear the bar off the ground. So what I've been working on is trying to establish a better tempo on my pull. And I wanted to actually ask James what he thinks people can do to develop tempo, or all of you guys actually. So.
Yeah, well, something I've heard, I think it was a cue that I got from John Burroughs actually. He was kind of like, it's a fight to hold position. It's so in that, like if you pull the bar off the floor too fast, you might lose position, and that's going to mess up your lift. So you want to pull in a way that helps you hold position. So, for example, I used to rip the bar off the floor as hard as I can, as fast as I could, and then like really just kind of attacking the weight. And coming from powerlifting, and when you do a deadlift, you're really trying to pull hard right off the floor. And so that's what I used to think when I did, especially my cleans. But with the whip and a weightlifting bar, especially when you start getting up a little bit heavier, you can't necessarily do that. Like, I think one time I messed up a lift because I pulled so hard that it whipped, and then by the time the bar got to my knee, like the weights, the end of the bar had gone whipped upward above where my hands were, and just kind of like threw me way out of position there. So I actually had to really start working on tempo at that time too. And I actually had to slow my pull down a lot off the floor and kind of get it into the right position. And then something Don says, I think he put it in his book, he talks about it at his seminars, where he says it's like a power wheel. And he just draws a circle with dots, and they're slowly getting closer and closer and closer all the way around the power wheel. So it's like a constant acceleration of the bar. So the bar starts off the floor. Some people are fast. They'll start the pull faster. But one of the main important things is that it accelerates even more as you're going up until you get to the hips, when you really start accelerating more. And then you're going underneath the bar even faster. And then once you catch the weight, the power wheel's done. And it kind of gives you an idea, and it gives you like a general thing to shoot for. And then you're just trying to make everything smooth and figure out the tempo that's going to work with your body the best, I think. And then for different people, it's going to be different. I mean, like you look at, we were just talking about Ian Wilson. He has a very unique tempo, and he kind of pulls the bar really quickly right off the floor. Who's somebody that has a really slow tempo? You guys know anybody?
Geez, I don't know. Amanda Sandoval did. Alex Lee does, but
yeah, so
he's not competing now, but it's very slow, and then it kind of comes, he's very quick under the bar, but the whole pool is very, very slow.
Yeah, and then, but still, the one common denominator there is it's slow, but it's accelerating through. It's not a speed up, slow down, and speed up. It's kind of a nice, smooth acceleration. Did that kind of answer what
Yeah,
you're
no, I
looking
mean,
for?
that's what we noticed, is that I would just try and tear it off the floor, and I would basically accelerate it as fast as I could, then slow down because I can't accelerate it anymore, and then try and finish and accelerate it again, which you don't want. You want, like Glenn wrote an article a while ago about Ilya Ilin, fast, faster, fastest is what you want to go, basically, in that order, instead of just trying to tear it off the ground. And then I would get out of position, I wouldn't set my back, my hips would rise way faster than my chest would. I mean, so been really trying to work on that. Coop, what do you think about it?
Well, you want to move as fast as you can so long as your tempo holds correct. So tempo is very important. That's kind of like the first thing we teach in the seminars. So we teach positions first, and then we teach movement. And when you talk about movement, the bar has to continuously accelerate. The rate of acceleration has to increase, so it can never decelerate or keep the same acceleration. You really want your acceleration curve to spike at the beginning of the second pull, meaning when the bar reaches your hips. So you definitely want to teach yourself in the long run to pull fast off the floor and accelerate through. So someone who has like a very, very fast pull throughout is, I would say, Kendrick. He rips it off the floor, and but he continues to accelerate it through. And so it's definitely, everyone is a little different, but at the same time you want to be able to pull it as fast as you can, so long as you can hold that.
Okay. Becca, do you have any thoughts about tempo?
Do
you would use it in your lifts or think about it at all? Because you actually have a pretty smooth tempo, I think, at least from watching you lift, every day.
Yeah, that's something I've been working on too, because I tend to slow down around my knees. And so I've been working on that with Don, and something he always says is faster as you go. And something about that clicks with me. So.
Well, one thing that we do with Glenn to work on tempo is the most disadvantageous part of the lift is right at the kneecap, which is what we call position 2 in the pin leg progression. And so sometimes we do isometric holds or hangs from position 2.
Yeah,
so
pause.
we might pull it from the floor, pause at position 2 in your most disadvantageous position and do an isometric, and then snatch it. And, because the knee is your weakest position naturally, so it's kind of your bottleneck. It's very hard to accelerate through that position unless you're strong there. So we kind of have used those in the past, and we haven't done them in a while, but something to think about. And when you do hangs from the knee, he recommends pausing at the knee to get, again, an isometric at that position where your shoulders are most over the bar in your weakest position, so that eventually you can accelerate through that part of the lift.
Yeah. And then, that goes right back to the whole thing of fighting to hold position. If you're stronger and in that position, in your weakest position there, you're going to be able to accelerate through it faster, almost, because it's going to be, relatively lighter.
Think about it this way. If you guys, most lifters can do about the same weight from the floor, the knee, and right above the knee, right? Very close. So if you can do almost the same weight from the knee as from the floor, really you just got to get to the knee position. What's the main advantage from going from the floor? You have some momentum from that position. So the thing about going from the knee, though, is you're guaranteed, if you're going from the blocks or the hang, you're guaranteed to have your acceleration pattern correct because you're starting from 0 at the knee. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's kind of like, because you're building that acceleration quickly. And that's, so, you know, tempo is super important. You should definitely be able to do a little more from the floor. That's not always the case with every lifter. I think a lot of times I'll hit a hang snatch PR, you know, before I hit a snatch PR. Right now, my hang snatch is less than my snatch, but it wasn't always like that, so.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
But exercise to develop tempo, you would recommend like pauses.
I would just work on like
work on being smooth.
pure tempo, just slow off the floor, and then as soon as you pass the knee, explode, and then eventually just work on speeding that up. Because if you start out by doing pauses at the knee, that's doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
That's actually stopping the bar at the knee, and that's not what you want. You want the bar to accelerate through the knee. So,
Well, it's basically what I've been, not pauses, but what you were talking about. Basically what I've been working on. So.
Yeah, and it just takes some work until it finally gets ingrained in your movement pattern, and then
your positions have certainly improved. So right now your positions look a lot better. It's just a matter of, you know, getting the bar moving at the right speed at the right time. Becca, you've been quiet.
Too quiet.
I'm just taking it all in, you know.
How's your training been going?
It's been all right. I've been working on a lot of technique work and tempo, getting my arms to be faster in both racking cleans and locking out snatches.
So you took was Christmas like the first time that you've taken off? You took off a week for Christmas, and
Yeah.
okay. And yeah, our training cycle has been like a little different. We haven't been maxing out as much leading up to this meet in hopes that everyone kind of peaks out at the right time. But what did you notice, like, so when you go home for Christmas, and a lot of people, they're obviously, either they're going to have injuries, go home for Christmas, visit family, whatever, stuff happens in life where you take a week or two off of training. What are the biggest things you noticed when you came back?
Mainly just, I think timing was off. And just lifts didn't feel the same as they felt before. I felt a little slower, just out of position.
sluggish almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you feel like when you came back, you were trying to, because this happened to me in Australia, actually. I kind of came back and I tried to jump right back into the program, and I got really fatigued because my body wasn't, it basically fell asleep. I was rested. I didn't have the same work capacity. So did you feel like the heavy days kind of took more out of you so that on your lighter days you were slower, or?
No, because, I didn't get to lift while I was in Florida, but I did do, kettlebell stuff just to move around. So I wasn't tired so much as I just was getting frustrated missing lifts that used to be pretty routine.
Yeah. It's definitely frustrating when you're coming back, but you've been the past couple of weeks you've been really hitting some bigger lifts, and we have 3 weeks up till the Arnold, so it could be a blessing in disguise that you're peaking out at the right time, you're building up, instead of hitting PRs a month out. So
yeah, hope so.
We did get a couple questions. One main question, I guess. And it was about cardio for a master's lifter. They asked if we personally had a cardio regimen in our training. And if so, what did we do? And my short answer is basically most lifters do not have really any cardio regimen in their training. I don't think it'd be bad to do some low-intensity cardio a couple times a week. And especially for a master's lifter, you want to keep the heart strong. All those good things. But if you're looking to lose weight, definitely, fix your diet first. Make sure your diet's spot on before you start adding a bunch of cardio, because it will take away from your leg strength.
Yeah, I mean, I might even go one step further and say once a week for cardio. Just like the nature of, like, I don't know, maybe, well, there's a difference between cardiovascular training and then endurance training. But in a way that endurance training will make your cardiovascular system, well, will support your cardiovascular system, is pretty much getting more blood vessels, kind of more blood vessel development in your muscles by doing the endurance training. It always bothers me, the difference between cardio and endurance. Endurance isn't necessarily synonymous with cardio, but they overlap sometimes. So when you're doing cardio stuff, just keep that in mind, and it stays with you longer. Where strength, just like the example with Becca, with 1 week off, strength will kind of it'll stay, and speed will take a little bit longer to come back. But cardio is kind of like the same way. You just want to maintain it with only once a week training. But where weightlifting specifically, once a week training, you can't keep your speed up, you can't keep your movement up as much. But I think once a week training wouldn't interfere so much with your lifting. And then there also is, like, if you wanted to do more, have it in your program. I don't know, if you're competing far away from competition, you might do more cardio. And then closer to competition,
I mean,
less.
I think the original question was intended, more for like a fat burn effect. So, to burn fat, you don't need to get your heart rate up to really, really high levels. You need to maintain, like what do they say, like 65% of your maximum heart rate for, a certain amount of time, which isn't going to take as much out of you as if you were up in the 80% range for a long amount of time.
Some high intensity interval training might not be the best choice.
Yeah, that would really kill your legs. So if you're just looking for a fat burn effect,
and then again,
definitely fix your diet first.
Yeah, just like you just said, it's mostly diet. I mean, as long as I've been, before I used to train a lot of people and for the fat burning thing, and most of it's diet. I mean, you can do a little bit in training to kind of get the fat burning stuff going, but I mean, I would say 90% of it's diet.
You guys have anything for that? Any experience doing?
Anything over 3 repetitions is cardio. So we do cardio all the time, and we do sets of 5 in the squat, in my opinion.
That's true. Or lots of doubles and triples and just the lifts themselves.
Yeah.
I reaffirm that it's just check your diet. Most people think that, if I go to this class or do this, I'm going to lose all this weight. Just check your diet.
I mean, honestly, if you do like sets of 5 on the hang snatch,
yeah, seriously,
you would be breathing pretty hard. I mean, you're going to get a huge training effect and directly towards weightlifting.
I feel like we train enough, like our sessions are long enough and we're active enough throughout that our heart rate is probably over that 65% capacity you were talking about pretty much all the time, but maybe not. I could be wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. There's that steady state thing now.
Cardio. It's definitely elevated. I don't think we get up that high, but
I don't know. Try being a super.
Did you guys get any questions throughout the week you want to answer on here?
Well,
Becky, you had a question, didn't you?
One of my friends wanted us to talk about our most embarrassing lifting stories.
Oh, yeah.
But,
oh, yeah.
All right, well, let's hear it. Don't be shy.
Well, let's see. I've heard a competition, somebody that wasn't a weightlifter, describe a competition of weightlifting. So everyone's out there in their singlets. And everybody kind of grabs their junk with their hands chalky. I mean, I do.
Who doesn't?
So they described it as they weren't really it felt like more like a weenie display rather than a weightlifting competition.
It sounds like something Stephanie would say.
Yeah, that was definitely what Stephanie said.
Oh man. Yeah, I think she said something about that one time, and I was like, yeah. I do that on purpose so people look at my dick. I get the chalk, grab my junk, and I'm like, hey. No, I'm just kidding. I was just being funny, but
Funny
yeah.
as a loose term.
But a lot
No,
of
that was a good one. Nobody laughed. That was terrible.
yeah, that was so funny. Everybody forgot to laugh, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah. Well. All right, Becca.
Well, come on, Becca.
Yeah,
anything.
Becca, what's your most embarrassing lifting story? I can't think of, like, every day is my most embarrassing
Has
lifting
anyone
story.
ever
There's-
farted while they're squatting?
My
or-
entire life is
No.
getting outlifted
Girls
by
don't
James
fart.
Tatum, so.
I've done like where sometimes I'm like not thinking when I'm going to do a lift, and like I did this the other day. I was supposed to do a split jerk, and I did like a push press with like, and then stuck my leg out sideways because I wasn't thinking about what I was about to do. So I don't know.
I had lifted for like 4 or 5 years, and then for a week straight, for some reason, every time I took 50, when I brought the bar down, I hit my head. Just like knocked my head. I'd never done that, and then I did it like 4 days in a row. It was incredible. But not really all that embarrassing, I guess. Just ridiculously
Might have to think about that some
annoying.
more.
Friggin' hurt.
Split my head open, 40 kilos, snatching off the blocks.
Oh, I remember that. Put
Yeah.
a big Band-Aid right on your forehead.
Yep, going straight across.
I had been getting a lot of questions like, what is, I mean, I think most people know from our videos kind of what a week of training is like, or at least they think they do. But we never put the morning sessions out, and so what I tried to do this week is I put a blog series up called The Scoop on Muscle Driver USA, and I've been videoing every training session, particularly the morning sessions, to try to give everyone an idea of what training is actually like, because Monday, Wednesday, Friday afternoon are really heavy, but we definitely do a fair amount of like technique block, low intensity work in the morning sessions, and then Saturday, of course, is geared towards getting very strong in the squat, push press, that kind of thing. So stuff that people don't necessarily associate our team with doing, just because we always put out Monday, Wednesday, Friday afternoon videos when they're from the floor, heavy. Anything that you guys do that doesn't get put on the videos that you think is important?
I do a lot of SOTS press.
Yeah.
Behind the neck, snatch grip, SOTS press.
But you've been doing that not necessarily for weight, but for position.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the best set I've done was 70 kilos or something for a set of 5.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time I just use 40 kilos and just kind of, as I'm lowering the weight down to my back, I let it push my hips down in between my ankles a little bit more. And then when it's overhead, I really try to arch my whole back and stay as upright as possible. But yeah, just working on those positions.
I really like those too. I do those.
That's a good exercise as a primer. So, you know, most workouts, if you're doing snatches, and Zygmunt has all the guys at the OTC doing this, and it has them doing like, 40, 50 kilos, and then once a week maybe going a little heavier for a set of 5 or a couple sets of 5 to strengthen it. But for the most part, it's just a prime exercise for flexibility. It's not really an exercise that you have to be super strong at. But if you can't get into the right position, they're freaking hard. So, once you can get into the right position, 40 kilos is pretty easy.
One day I did bench press and curls as a superset. I don't think that made the video.
One day.
Every day. I've been doing the bulletproof shoulders, like the ISTs, Ys, and Ws more, which is something that I know Mike does like every day. I've been doing it because of some
Yeah.
shoulder issues. I think every lifter actually should probably do that, in my opinion, as a preventative measure. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google bulletproof shoulders and a video should pop up and tell you what to do. But
I mean, there's definitely a lot of stuff that goes into being a weightlifter, and we can't put all of it in videos because,
No.
I mean, frankly, most of it's really freaking boring. I mean, if somebody filmed us on a foam roller for like 20 minutes, I mean, we don't usually get on a foam roller for that long, but I mean, if there was a video like that, it's like, nobody's going to want to watch that crap. So we try to give you a good idea of what the heavy sessions are like, but I think sometimes people think like all we do is go heavy and we never, work on technique or strength. And it's not necessarily the case. So I try to give a little better idea. And at the moment we're getting ready for a competition, so things are slightly lighter in the mornings, and we're not doing a whole lot of strength work, but further out from competition we do some pulls and and focus on squats a bit more and all that. So hope you guys enjoy that. Check it out. If you want to know a little more about what a week is like at Muscle Driver, tweet us at WLiftingScoop, and send us an email. We should have a store up on the website soon that you guys can check out and basically use that money to buy new equipment and update everything so the quality of the show is better.
Good stuff. We are working on a bench right now to put all these mics on. That's going to be awesome. The listeners won't be able to see that, but maybe we'll take a picture when it's done and
we'll try
post
to take
it on
a
the
picture
Twitter
of
page.
it. We'll put it on a video one time, just to kind of show you guys what the podcast room looks like or what it will look like soon. But it's freaking raining today, so I don't think we're going to be able to fix that up.
Yeah.
Anyways, you guys got any blogs or anything you guys want to put out there?
I just started a site with Greg Knuckles and Ryan Grady called Pushing It Further. So check that out if you're interested.
It's a pretty interesting site.
Yep.
Greg Knuckles.
Greg is the powerlifting guy. Ryan is the CrossFit guy, and then I'm going to be putting in some weightlifting stuff. So
Nice. I have my website, heavymetalsc.com. Basically, it's just something for people to find out about where I'm coaching, because I'm doing a lot more coaching gigs now. And then you can follow me on Instagram at Sean M. Rigsby. So.
Good stuff. JamesTatumUSA.com.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.